Hello, First United Methodist Church of Claremont. My name is Brian Broadway, and I'm the founder of Find, Feed, and Restore. I came here today to let you know that you are changing lives. And what better way to do that than to let you see a life for yourself? The Bible tells us in Matthew 25, verses 35 to 41, it tells us a story, and Jesus is looking at those that he let access the kingdom, and he looked to his right-hand side, and he gave them information on their works. He said, I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty, you gave me to drink. I was a stranger or a person in a place with no home, and you took me in. And he gave them a few examples of what they did. And in this moment, he began connecting the desire of God with the activities of the individual. Now we know that we are saved by grace alone, yet there are good works that God expects us to do based off being recipients of that salvation, according to Ephesians 2:10. Today I want to share a story with you, a story of hope and a life that you have impacted. The young lady that you're about to hear from, her story is pretty amazing. It's amazing that even through difficulties and hardships, that people still find God. They hold to their faith, and even from moments where it feels like it's slipping away, they regain grasp on their belief in God and their trust in Him to work things out for their good. This young lady wasn't homeless because she left home with her children, or she wasn't homeless because she wanted a new way of life. She was homeless because she was beaten. And she was beaten by the one that promised to love her for life, her own husband. Now imagine a mom with a 10-month-old son, a 3-year-old son, and a 2-year-old daughter. And imagine she hears a car pulling up to the driveway knowing that her husband is home. And instead of expectations of a greeting or expectations of a loving family, or maybe expectations of having dinner together, she has to put the kids in separate rooms, waiting for him to come in, not knowing his responses. If he had a difficult day, it could mean her getting hit or her getting yelled at, hoping the children didn't hear the sounds echoing through the hallways. Imagine being a mom and that is your expectations at the end of every day. Well, this was the life of Alex.
As we head to our unit that Alex is living in, our volunteers are there, engaging her children in some fun activities. The story of Alex is one of abuse, abandonment, hope, and restoration. And it's a story that needs to be heard. Meet Alex.
My name is Alexandra. My firstborn is Chase. He is 3 years old, almost 4 in December. Then comes Adeline. She is 2, and Bradley just turned 1 year old. So forgive me if I'm a little bit choppy with my story, but I'm still learning how to be able to tell my story. At the beginning, back in May, me and my children had to flee from domestic violence. I really was at rock bottom. I did not know what we were going to do, but I questioned God for a little bit there, and I've been a Christian for quite a few years, so for me to feel that way was something very new. I had no clue why He would allow me to go through something like that, why He would have allowed my children to see what they did. But now I'm realizing, as I'm coming out of it stronger, that the Bible tells you that when you do the right thing, He will provide. So I was in the midst of everything. I had come back to the Claremont area after having to seek a restraining order from my husband. And our electricity hadn't been paid in 3 months. I had no clue what we were going to do. I'm sure it would have been turned off if it wasn't for COVID. But I know, obviously, I have a responsibility as a mother to my 3 precious angels that I had to do something. So I pulled an all-nighter, and I was Googling and trying to find every resource available, everything. And I applied for everything on the Find, Feed, and Restore website. And it was only a day or 2 later that Shannon called me back and told me that I could interview. It was everything that I had been praying for. The shelters at that point were all full because of COVID. There was a rise in domestic violence and a rise in women fleeing at that point in the beginning of COVID. And so there was no availability in the shelters, and I really didn't have anywhere else to go. I was in what had been our family home, but I was not safe, and I did not feel safe, and I did not sleep. And so Find, Feed, and Restore gave me the opportunity to relocate with my babies to somewhere where I know we're safe, and help us get back on our feet. Like I said before in the beginning, I questioned my faith for a little bit, and I think that was actually a good thing. God perhaps did that so that I could realize my purpose, and that's something that before all of this happened I had been praying for. God, I know that this isn't my purpose. I know that what we're in is not our purpose, and so please show us. And then hit rock bottom, and I'm like, okay, that's not what I meant. But now I'm thinking it is so that I can be an advocate for the silent. Domestic violence is in churches, it is in every single culture, it is around the world, and there's just silence. So there has to be a bigger voice about it for sure.
I was playing in a house because I was my new house spouse. Mama brought me a mallet. But that's tasty.
Okay. I just want to say thank you so much to Find, Feed, and Restore and First United Methodist Church for allowing me and my children to have the opportunity to relocate to somewhere safe and to get back on our feet.
You guys have made a major impact upon lives. Do you know that housing doesn't only just impact homelessness, it also impacts a new epidemic or a horrible tragedy that's actually happening, which is called children trafficking. It's the idea that a child can be taken outside of the will, outside of their family's will, and outside of their own, and utilized for sexual exploitations or for free labor. And this is happening in our local cities. And one of the greatest things to help avoid that is by providing housing, since homeless children are the key targets. On December 5th at 7 p.m., we're doing a virtual fundraiser called An Angelic Christmas. It's going to be a night of singing, testimonies, live stories of people who you have impacted, and a night of giving. We want you to be our guest. You can host it in your own home. If you'd like to host it, please go see one of your pastors at First United Methodist Church, and they'll get you in contact with us. And you can invite friends or family over to sit down in your family room and watch this incredible event and hear from some lives that you have impacted, and also hear some beautiful Christmas songs. So make sure that you save that date, December 5th at 7 p.m. It'll be virtual, so you can watch it right in your own home. If you feel led to give and continue to support what we're doing and what you're doing as a local body of Christ, there are many ways to do that with your time, your talents, and your giving. Whether you want to write a check today to donate, you can write your check out to Find, Feed, and Restore, or you can write it to First United Methodist Church, and in the comments, just put down Homeless Ministry. Also, you can go online at findfeedrestore.com if you want to give monthly donations. 73 cents a day can change the life of a homeless child. You can sign up to give 73 cents a day, which is only $22 a month, and you will impact lives. We thank you so much for all you have done, and we're going to continue to change lives together as a family. Thank you for your love, your kindness, and the work you're doing to impact homeless children in our community. Thank you, First United Methodist Church of Claremont. God bless.